What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And in this particular video, y'all, I'm actually reviewing Greenleaf Season 1, Episode 5. Shout out to my YouTube fam, and let's get into it, y'all. You know, usually I'll be all over the place. Sometimes I mispronounce somebody's name. There's a lot of C's and a couple J's in this episode, y'all. So, let's get into it. Let's start off with the Jacob thing going on and go back and forth. Not because it's one of those stories, kind of dramas that's kind of hard to shift. So I'm gonna do the best I can. Remember as much as I can. I don't take notes. So we got Gigi. She's here, daughter Sophia. She's fell asleep listening to Faith's one of her sermons, whatever, Bible studies. I think she taught Bible study. And one of the recordings, and then she asked, her daughter, like, where'd you get this? And she didn't first say, because she was like, Mom, your phone's ringing, and she just so in awe and shocked, whatever, but she wasn't mad. Like, okay, how'd you get this? Whatever. And then also remember, around the same time frame, if y'all looked at the episode already, on the laptop, she's looking at Danielle, the girl who recanted the statement, her statement about Uncle Molester Mac, about him doing anything to her. And she had her Facebook page up, but it wasn't brought up anymore in the episode. And so, the girl told her she got it from Faith's room, her daughter told about, that she got it from Faith, the recordings from Faith's room, whatever, but she didn't tell her mom, because, Gigi asked, because she thought it was going to, make her more upset. She already feel iffy about, being back here and everything. And she just didn't want to make her mom, emotionally more hurt by hearing that. But she didn't feel that way. Actually, towards the end of the episode, she started, listening to some of Faith's, sermons, as well. I hope I'm saying the right term. I usually don't go to church, if y'all notice. But we got to hear where she get a call. Gigi goes to the hospital, right? And Gigi's like, this young little boy who was born a preemie, a baby, and he was born premature at 25 weeks. And he's in the hospital again, and he's, some of his intestines are dead, so they're going to have surgery. He's, been sickly ever since he was born, and he's been going, in and out the hospital. And parents meet, talk to her, and they said, the bishop, held the baby, and the baby, little Joshua on his hands, and so forth. And when they told the wife talked about the surgery, the first thing, the dad is like, well, ain't this in God's hands? And he was like, this wouldn't all started if the bishop didn't get involved or something like that, right? And then the wife felt like, what the heck? So Gigi talks to the husband ends up talking to Gigi in one of those waiting rooms, and he apologized, but he's like, he gave the background story that they tried a couple times, and I guess either unfortunately the pregnancies either came stillborn, or she miscarried, the wife miscarried, and when she, even though it was risky, she definitely was going to give up when she finally was I guess far long enough with Joshua. Okay, Joshua. I'm sorry, y'all. Joshua. And he knew it wasn't, but he was just saying, like, once the bishop came there, and the bishop was like, this is a miracle. God has a calling for him and stuff and so forth. But the father felt like this. They knew that, they knew that he was going to be a sickly, person and going to go through all this pain. So the father's looking at it from the angle, it's like, I didn't want him to suffer. You know what I'm saying? And go through all these operations, be in all this pain, just being sick, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, the wife, like I said, his wife wanted to have a child. And, that's kind of one of those things where he just feels like, they, even if they want to, it felt like if they could pull the plug, the father indirectly, the vibe I got, y'all, was that he basically, this child is living in all this unnecessary pain, and we don't even know if he's going to make it, and is it worth keeping him alive another day if he's not going to make it to the next week? You know what I mean? And it's one of those things about, you got your faith, your hope, and morals, and, like, do you have the call to say, you know, should you say yes or no to life? And that's another, that's another, to life or whatever, during even certain circumstances, especially if somebody is really ill or, is very, basically a very sickly person. But anyways, y'all, so Gigi has that talk with them, and the wife is saying, they have, the surgery, he was successful to get all of it out, whatever. I think it was later on, that same scene or later on. And so, fast forward, we got a scene where we got Uncle Mac Molester with Bishop James, or Mr. Cold-Blooded James, which I will talk about later on, okay, with his son in that scene, okay? Now, they talking to a man, he got on iPad, this airplane and stuff, whatever, right? And it turned out he couldn't say, but they lost the payments and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe even though down to the Bishop Cold-Blooded James and Uncle Mac they should have paid attention, why did the man lose whoever they were saying? Because they said it recognized the plane, and it was some pastor, bishop, whatever, must have been had to make a church as well. And they were going to take over the payments and just to get this new jet. And they still we going to take it. But at the same time, I'm kind of wondering, the man didn't go into detail. Because he's trying to, so this is the rich Brenner Center when it comes to stuff, okay? Instead of, you get your regular refrigerator or electronics or something, you pay and make payments and stuff. You can get such items as 5 mansions and a plane that can probably carry at least, at least carry some people. And you can get champagne and caviar in the front, okay? I'm just saying, okay? This ain't no regular Renner Center, okay? It's Renner Rich, okay? And so, by the way, we didn't see Oprah this episode. The cool auntie. So, anyways, y'all. They decided to go and take Greed with this plane. And we see later on that actually, like I said, they want, the prayer thing about the bishop's thing about coming down there. And Gigi brings it up to her dad, which is later on in the episode. About talking about, what should he say. But we'll get into that in a minute, because like I said, it's his. Now, the fast forward intertwines, we see Chastity, she all happy, and the lady, doing ultrasound, whatever. I don't guess, is, the baby is not, is not in the month yet where, the sex generator. Isn't that usually the 5th month? Or I forgot, technically about how many weeks, because I don't have any children yet, so I don't know. But anyways, there's when one was oh, ladies doing ultrasound. And they're what's wrong? Because, Chastity, her beard, her husband, is there too. I forgot what his name is. So it'll come up after if I review the show again. And it's oh, looks like buddy got another friend. So the baby is babies. They got twins on the way, y'all. And, Charity's just so happy and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then we see another scene where we got Clarissa explains it all. Am I saying her name right? Yeah, explains it all. And we got a scene where her and Jacob are in therapy. And Jacob finally is talking. And he wants to go to what stays in Vegas, Hacking Vegas. So one of his friends, one of his good friends, is having a bachelor party. And she's so what's the calling? The fact that, you're going to be up there, making it rain and putting the singles down a stripper's thong or something like that. And he, and the therapist asking okay, what about this affair? Again, Jacob doesn't want to talk about it. But the compromise is going because he feels like he should go. He's willing, I guess, supposedly to get rid of, the extra, okay, the side piece for Clarissa Explains It All. So, he's I'm going to take care of it, and we're going to go from there. And then we see, in the later episode, when people get caught is when you least expect it. Sometimes you got to search whatever. It will pop up. AOL pop up when you still instant message. Y'all remember that? That's pretty much what the heck happened. She's looked like she on her phone, and she just... Clarissa explains it all later on the episode. They about to have dinner or before then. She's already looking like this. Now, around the same time, they're having the prep, the prep test, whatever. And her daughter, Zoe, also known as I Get High, even on catnip damn near. I forgot, what's her name? Zora, Zoe, okay. Like I said, Mrs. Clarissa Explains It All has like a lot of, like I said, she's all about image to the point where it can be damaging. You know what I mean? Like, image is important, but at what cost? Where people get hurt, or you pretend to be something, and you are, even yourself can get hurt, but you want to have this certain image. Okay, so Auntie Ways, like I said, she's got, the practice. We see Isabella. It's the teachers at, Carissa Rain's where she's over it, and she's telling the staff. And then you get these prep school tests up, and Isabella's like, well, they kind of are biased, with these tests, whatever. You know what I'm saying, rigged, whatever. But Carissa Rain and all is like, we gonna get this, and we gonna get this done. I don't care. Get these test scores up. Okay, that's why I asked. And she had noticed Carissa spraying it all was not feeling it. So after everybody, Isabella was like, you all right now? Ain't nobody too much around. But Isabella knows Carissa sprays it all. Actually looked at, like, you could tell like she was getting upset by the minute, right? So she's like, no, I'm good, whatever. And they kind of just left it as is, because Isabella's like, I'm just gonna do my best, and that's all Carissa spraying all expects out of her is the best. 100%, even though there's no human being 100%, she wants that 100%, okay? She wants perfection, okay? Like Debbie Allen Faye, she wants to see you sweat, okay? It better be sweat, okay? And we got another scene where we got May going over, because first she talks to James beginning the episode, and, they're still trying to get Miss Carlene, I'd call Miss Silverfuck, the one that's over, the board and left, and she's trying to get her back to come back there. And she talks to her, and I think her name's Chlorine or something, like Chlorine. I don't that sound like a bleach. Anyway, but Mrs. C, okay, and May's talking, and she's trying to talk to her, and she basically like this. She make long story. Even May somehow is making it seem like the return of Gigi is like the Omen's lost daughter, Rosemary Baby, if it was really alive and she was a black woman. That's pretty much what the hell she keeps trying to place up Gigi. Ever since that child came here, who May was even telling Miss C about it, we've been dealing with these problems, woo woo woo, and everything, and blah blah blah. Somewhat, I'm just noticing she was bringing up a little bit. But Miss C was like this. She was like, well, Gigi being back here, she's actually a prophet. And here May's like, huh? Yeah, when I used to hear the word when she was younger, and all this energy spoke, because I guess she was thinking like, my husband is delusional, okay? Like I said, it's almost like she has this competition. Everybody seemed to have some type of competition, except the father, so far, Mr. Cold-Blooded James. In terms of like whether or not, like they look at Gigi because she's the black sheep technically, and black sheeps could be a good or bad person. But 9 times 10, at least what I've experienced in my life, it seems like black sheeps usually don't mean they're bad people. It's just because they don't follow the rest of the pack. They just be in the corner by themselves. I mean, not the only black sheep, but they just be sitting there and everybody, just be looking at them like, what the hell? And Gigi seems to be one of those people. And so that was brought up. But Miss C was like this. When your husband come here, basically come in for herself, first made like, oh, I don't know, he, just too proud to come here himself, whatever. But Miss C was going to mess. When he can come here and talk to me, then I'll think about it. Until then, basically she like, what done is done. Okay. So we got that going on. So anyways, y'all, we got another scene where, like I said, we have, Carissa Randall, everybody coming to the table. And, it was about to be big dinner. She has her phone already in hand, already looks evil, as usual, whatever, right? And, she, Chastity's about to say something, and she's about to tell her and her husband are about to talk about the twins. They're like, okay, Daddy, we about to tell the news, everybody. I really forgot whether Gigi was there or not, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, she's kind of outside from the family, besides someone talking in that relationship with the dad and her daughter when she ain't being a little bitch. But, we don't even see her really too much interact, with her family wise, okay? And, most of them. So, like I said, all of a sudden, when they were about to say the news, here go Carissa slamming her damn phone on the damn table, whatever, right? And she basically is like this. He's talking and having an affair with Alexis. I know that, I think Mr. Cobalt just like, okay, where did this come from or whatever. One of them did. And she like this. He texted the wrong one. Okay. And everybody just like, oh, okay. Well, what was you about to say? Here you go, Chastity. Charity, when she had to change. We were having twins. And I think the mom maid was like, First Lady Mama maid was like, oh, okay. And then it just cut scene. And then, like I said, we see, I think again, Gigi, that's when we see her like starting to listen to her sisters, some of her teachings and so forth, before she went to bed. There also was another scene where, like I said, when Miss May left Miss C's house, she ends up calling this guy, over on the board that was Fred, and talks to him in another scene. Even tries to give him and even force him to take the cube sugar. Not the grated sugar, just, the fresh cubes like you see in the cartoon and shit, whatever. You want 2 lumps, 1 lump. And, because she brings up about, she wants him to supposedly take the chair's purpose. Because, May already let it know in the beginning of the episode. She is not about to work hard and let everything. She wants to make sure she don't wear the big hat. But, metaphorically speaking, she does wear the big hat. And, she just, like, nobody's gonna take where I've been at, okay? And then she wants, of course, we all know she was worried about because she wants that plane. But it's, when she tells Fred is like, if he kind of like, how they miss, Miss C, whatever, being still on the board, whatever, being positioned as she was in the church. So, we got it where she brings about the plane him. He's like, okay, we're about to start getting audited next week, and you worried about your plane? Are you sure? And here go Miss May like, is that a good thing or bad thing? Are you sure? Treat yourself. Have a cue of some tea, okay? But I could have sworn, y'all, if y'all watched the episode, did she ever end up telling Bishop Cold-Blooded James that she went to go meet up with Fred? Because she could have sworn, I think she tried to play it off like, with the Fred thing about, him possibly wanting to position somebody. Like I said, I was like, I'm like, maybe I should have winded a little bit more. But it just seemed like, she brought up about, yeah, how he feels about the plane. I heard about, hear about how he feels about the plane and about, us getting in and stuff like that. And that's where it would seem like they were convinced for him to go later on in the episode. And I guess Miss C's supposed to come back because, the Bishop Cold-Blooded James did convince her, like to come back, and because like May reminded her too, like she been there since the beginning, start from the bottom whenever somebody's, in the living room and stuff, whatever. And that's what like I said, it was Mr. Cold-Blooded James that convinced her to come back, I guess. So, like I said, we have a scene with Isabella. She telling one of the kids about, what were you stuck on? The baby, wanted to know how to do this problem, and she basically was like this. So, what's the now? Person, place, or thing? Scooter? So what do you think? What do you think which answer is? And the baby read, I don't know if it's like 4th grade, 3rd grade, whatever. And the baby's like, little young man was like, oh, I think it's Scooter. She like, oh, whatever you think it is. It just kept walking. And the pre-prep test scores were better. And, Miss Clarissa Sprandall was proud with Isabella. She was like, I don't know what you did. I don't know you care. Just keep it up when we actually take the test. And like I said, in the middle episode, she talked to her little daughter, Miss Zoe Spoil, and explained to her, if you don't have good prep scores and whatever, these colleges are basically not going to take you serious and blah, blah, blah. And I think she even offered also Isabella at the same time when she talked about these results for the pre-prep test. I can give you some marriage advice if you want to, like how's the, the wedding planning and stuff. Isabella later on talks to Noah, and she's basically like this, I'm only really at the school, I'm working at the school, but she's really sick and tired about being here and being involved in the family bullshit. And she is basically like, I am done with this. Can we move to Colorado? I thought we were going to move somewhere else. So she's thinking about trying to convince Noah. I don't know if she stayed for another night and blew some more balloons. If y'all seen JK Promoters, y'all know what I'm talking about. Blew some balloons. and proceeded, like to let him know, like, so they're thinking about possibly, because Isabel's just sick and tired of the spider webs of that is at this place. So that's surrounding the Greenleafs. Okay, and so we got like the last like two big scenes, and Jacob ends up seeing his dad, talking to him, whatever, right? And after this big blowout, by the way, we see Charity's husband sitting right next to her bed, whatever, looking at the GPS of beefcakes or whatever. I mean, it was guys with six pack, but he already searching to look for some dudes, whatever. I'm thinking, like, is this your first time? Or did you experiment when you were younger and just ain't saying nothing? Because he was a little too confident about looking, and but she snored a little bit and leaned over a little bit on him a little bit, so he was a little concerned. But they got off that scene. But we see where he's going with this. If he don't end up getting that guy that's over that program, like for homeless people, whatever, first, whichever come first. And so, like I said, Jacob goes into his dad's office and he up here talking, and he's like saying about Jacob brings about Alexis, and he was like, oh, I fired her last night. How was your evening? Whatever. I know it was better than what the heck happened at that dinner, but he let him know that. And because of this, I think this, he ends up giving him 90-day suspension. And here go Jake gonna let him know, like, well, what about the Sunday sermon? He like, I can get somebody else. What about this? Sunday school. He like, I get a high school kid. I think Bible says I get a high school kid to talk about it or something like that. Then he let him know, like, okay, what about the fish fry? What about, about the cook fest, the potluck? What about all these things I'm charged? He just kept brushing them off, and it was like putting off 90 days. Jacob reminded Cold-Blooded, this is why I have to call him Mr. Bishop Cold-Blooded. Like I said, he like, well, because, Jacob was like, well, Dad, you put basically, it's all because Gigi's here, right? Basically, like, do I have a position at all? Something like along the lines where basically, do I have a position here? Since Gigi's here, am I going to lose my place? Where's my place here, basically? Where am I? Okay. And here's like, basically, Cowboy is like, you have no position. And later on, towards the end of the episode, he talked to Calista Spain and all, because Calista's like, are you going to talk to me? She's in the bed, she talked to Zoro, did someone, I guess, supposedly go on a prep school test, and he says he finally agrees with Calista Spain at all that that she was right about how he's treated by the family in comparison with Gigi, so we're going to see that. But also, we don't know if he broke it off with Alexis yet. That's what Chris explains I was already complaining about, but that don't stop this, because he wasn't screwing her in the church closet this weekend don't mean it ain't gonna happen next week episode. So anyways, towards the last part of this episode was they're going back to pray for Joshua again, and basically Bishop James wants to go Gigi, and they like basically both do prayers at the same time, do the ministry there for Jacob and Joshua and his parents, and we're basically for Joshua. And here's Gigi talking to her dad, like, just go in there, don't keep like basically this hope, don't sit here and say he's just gonna be all right, don't sit here, just say God, the Lord, the God's will, like. And Bishop James is like, I'm gonna go by what God, the Holy Spirit, God tells me. That's all I can do. I have to follow what he tells me to go by. And that's what I'm saying is, you got the thing by going by faith and going by the facts and going by fiction and intertwining and stuff. But, they end up also talking after they go do the prayer. And, when they're about to do the prayer, Bishop got the holding hands. And when Bishop James was holding hands, he was just like, Joshua is a boy, something like that, and he stopped. And then it was somehow maybe, like I said, he must have caught the spirit, or, sending God some message. And he was saying, he stopped. And that's when the wife, Joshua's mom, admitted that she's just so tired. She just want to see him happy and stuff like that. Because remember, they went to go get a prayer, go pray for him. And on top of that, the boy's hospital bed is moved. He got to have another surgery. So when they go pray, it's to pray for him again, because he's going to have another surgery. And even the mother is basically like, now, like, I'm tired. Well, after they were, like I said, when Bishop James was doing the prayer, She just like, I am tired of this. I am just done. I just want this child to be happy. I don't want to go into this more. And then she just started crying in her husband's arms. And then we got Gigi and her dad talking in the car. And she basically says, referring to like why something wasn't done about the Faith situation, or why it was this let go. And here go Bishop Coldwater James is basically like, well, again, she recanted her statement to Faith did. He was like this: we did go, you and my mom. We already know how May is, because I think that's her, Chester McMilester is her brother. And he able to hook him up with jets and stuff, and black cards and whatever else, So it's like, who knows to say they go later in the season or next season or whatever, if it's meant to be like, a series or mini-series, whatever. If she might have forced Faith to take back what she said as the truth, just so she would miss everything that May worked hard for. And so we got it where he was, Bishop James continued to sit here and tell her this. Like, you know what? If we really thought she had the truth, he was just saying she lied. But like I said, he still should have been in Faith's court or whatever. Mac Melissa would have got to the face a couple times or something. But he does admit that he apologized. We could have just got it off a table, and Faith would have felt a little bit better. We at least would have went to the police about it, even though he agrees that she lied. And he was like, if I felt the uncle had did something, he would, he would be working for the church, something like that, and he would be alive. But like I said, he still brushed it off kind of quickly, because we see this snake is this bishop's right-hand man. Okay. And that's how pretty much it, they kind of left it there. But Bishop was trying to get Gigi to like basically like, your brother's on 90-day leave. Can you help me with that? And she thinks about it, but she talks to her dad later on, and she says she'll help out, but she's not going to be preaching. She's just going to, doing, the work and stuff like that in the back. But she did say this, like, she is going to be starting a organization or group or something like that for sexual abuse victims. And he was like, okay, I understand, and left it as that. And the last scene is the family, Joshua's parents give her a box. In the beginning of the episode, when the boy, like I said, the whole time they showed this little young lad, Joshua, he had the superhero. And his mom said the superhero, I think something along the lines, gives him strength. And he sat there, they mailed him that superhero to Gigi, and she started crying. That was the end of the episode and credits. So it seemed to be the hint that, unfortunately, it's just, I guess, was whatever, that obviously Joshua doesn't need the superhero anymore, because he's probably up there. I mean, not to say probably, but he is up there. But that's what it given the impression most what I got from it. But anyway, y'all, have a pleasant week, pleasant night, week with hugs and loves. And if you like what I subscribe, sorry I couldn't, these episodes be really intense. You can't even really be funny with these episodes reviewing. But the show is good, I will say that, okay? But anyway, y'all, I'll see y'all next video. Goodbye.